years ago, only after meeting Meg, did you start the process of trying to figure it out? You hadn't tried it before, no?
And I quickly established that if this relationship was going to work, that I was going to have to deal with my past, because there was anger there, and it wasn't anger at her, it was just anger, and she recognized it, she saw it. Well, so how do I fix this? And it was a case of, you need to go back to the past, go back to the point of trauma, deal with it, process it, and then move forward. Everyone has put themselves out there, has decided or chosen to be vulnerable, which in today's society can come with all sorts of complications. But hats off to every single person that's contributed to this, because we've all done it for the same reason.
In the series, when you talked about how when you would fly back into London, it was like a trigger, and everyone has triggers. And I'm just wondering how it was for you recently you had to return. Were you able to work through those feelings?
Yeah, it's a good point. I was worried about it. I was afraid about it. But then going through the motions and being able to lean on the toolbox and lean on the learnings that I've grown from over the past, it definitely made it a lot easier. But the heart still pounds. That's a trigger, just like it is for anybody else. Message? Oh, from Michelle. How very amusing. So you would like to watch it together?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Hey, Prince Harry. Remember when you told us to bring it at the Invictus Games?
Careful what you wish for.
Boom.
Oh, really? Please.
Boom.
We all know that for years, Prince Harry was known as the naughty bachelor prince, often landing in the tabloids for his exploits. But now he's in a steady relationship and showing us his vulnerable side. So what led to his drastic life change? Here's ABC's Nick Watt.
Prince Harry? Sure, he's the fun one. The one-time hellraiser, party prince, lashed out at photographers. Recently, Harry's mellowed, going steady with American actress Meghan Markle, and now, finally, we know what lies beneath.
I've probably been very close to a complete breakdown on numerous occasions, when all sorts of grief and sort of lies and misconceptions and everything's coming at you from every angle.
22-year-old Prince, unguarded, candid, mildly sweary on a just-posted mental health podcast, Bryony Gordon's Mad World.
It was 20 years of not thinking about it, and then 2 years of total chaos.
The images of William and Harry walking behind their mother's coffin, no tears, just stiff upper lips all round. Gives you some idea of how people from that country, from that class, traditionally deal with loss.
I can safely say that losing my mum at the age of 12, and therefore shutting down all of my emotions for the last 20 years, has had a quite serious effect on not only my personal life but also my work as well.
He was described as the party prince when he was coming out of nightclubs, red-faced.
While older brother, quieter William, stays home with his seemingly perfect family, Harry struggled.
Where we saw that, we witnessed that in his behaviour, where he's saying he was close to a full mental breakdown, where he was nervous about going to royal engagements, that he didn't really know if he could carry those out.
He started dealing with it just a couple of years ago. He'd served himself in Afghanistan and works helping veterans rehabilitate.
I'm now lucky enough to watch someone who should be dead run the 100 metres. You want the definition of inspiration? That's probably it.
How's the training going?
It's going well.
Nice.
That work is partly what sparked the personal realization that he also needed help. William also encouraged him.
Some of the best or the easiest people to speak to is a shrink, or whoever, I know the Americans call them shrinks.
Yeah.
Someone you've never met before. You sit down on the sofa and say, listen, I don't actually need your advice. Can you just listen?
Just listen to me.
And you just let it all rip.
And you've done that, haven't you?
I've done that a couple of times.
I'm not
More than a couple of
surprised.
times. But it's great, and I can't believe I've never done it.
There was still a little bit of nervousness about admitting he'd sought professional help, even then, because of that old royal family stiff upper lip.
I actually did a bit of boxing. And during those 2 years, I took up boxing because everyone was saying boxing is good for you, and it's a really good way of letting out aggression. And that really saved me because, you know, I was on the verge of punching someone. So being able to punch someone who had pads was certainly easier.
Along with Kate and William, he's now launched a charity, Heads Together,
Just serious one. Just serious one? Do you want serious one?
to help tackle mental illness.
What we're trying to do is normalise the conversation to the point of where anyone can sit down and have a coffee and just go, you know what, I've had a really day.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you about it?
Everyone needs a hug every now and then, and it so happens that I've been told over and over again that I'm very good with hugs, which is great. Good at giving hugs. Fantastic.
That was a year ago, Harry speaking to our own Robin Roberts about his healing process.
This used to be our mum's sitting room, and we had to make that sort of decision between the two of us. Are we ready to go back into the house that we grew up in? And I'm glad we have, because, you know, it's that constant reminder, not that we ever forget, we think about every day.
My way of dealing with it was, sticking my head in the sand, refusing to ever think about my mum, because why would that help? It's only going to make you sad. It's not going to bring her back.
It just shows you what an utter nightmare he's had, but also the bravery, the courage that he's got to go out and talk publicly about this so that it helps other people understand their own mental health.
He's now out the other side, happy, apparently excited to become a father sometime, and using his clout to destigmatize mental illness. Could there ever be a better way to use your royalty, that strange celebrity? I'm Nick Watt for Nightline in Los Angeles.
Hey mate, how you doing? Nice to see you. Do you mind if I bring the camera in?
Of course, yeah, cool. So thanks very much for coming in, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. This is something I'm quite passionate about.
You as well?
Yeah.
Awesome. This, for me, is a subject of a conversation that's just not talked about enough. I think people all over the world are really suffering.
Well, I've actually been trying to write a song about this, actually, to get it out to more people.
Well, I was about to say, because like someone with your skill set to be able to write lyrics and of a song to raise awareness, I think would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. People just don't understand what it's like for people like us.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Well, you know, like with the jokes and the snide comments, and you know, I just feel like it's time that we stood up and said, you know, we're not going to take this anymore. We are Ginger, and we're going to fight.
Okay. Slightly awkward. This might maybe a miscommunication, but this is about World Mental Health Day.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, no, I knew that. I definitely knew that. Yeah, definitely knew that.
So we're good.
Yeah, all good.
Guys, this World Mental Health Day, reach out, make sure that your friends, strangers, look out for anybody that might be suffering in silence. We're all in this together. All right?
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Joy in that. No, I can put a smile on, but inside feel completely broken.
Now that is from The Me You Can't See. That's a new series on Apple TV Plus that premieres today. The multi-part documentary was co-created by Oprah and Prince Harry. The series is about mental health told by real people, some famous, some not. They all struggle with their emotional well-being. Oprah and Harry not only created it, they both appear in it to tell their individual stories. But they began talking about this project more than a year and a half ago.
To make that decision to receive help is not a sign of weakness. In today's world, more than ever, it is a sign of strength.
From the first moment I had a conversation with Prince Harry about what were his two most important issues facing the world, and he said climate change and mental health. And I started to tell him about this series I was doing with Apple TV Plus. He said, "Oh, and if you ever need any help with that series, let me know." And I went,
What did you think when he volunteered?
What did I think when he volunteered? Well, my first initial thought was, oh yeah, this is like, let's have lunch sometime.
Yes, but it's fascinating to me that you two are very different.
Yes, yeah, we even say that in the series. At one point I'm talking about growing up with, no running water in an outhouse. And he was like, well, I am the exact opposite of that. So, which goes to show that it doesn't matter whether you were born in a castle or whether you're, born in an outhouse or born to people who didn't really want you. We all have this spectrum of our mental well-being in common.
He is candid in this series. Do you think that him being as candid as he is going to help him with the royal family?
I don't know if it helps with the royal family, but this is what I do know, is that being able to express your own personal truth in a way is the reason why Harry agreed to sit down and have the conversation. The interview that went around the world. And in this series, you will see that we are a conversation.
Yes.
Because he knows the power of story. He knows that by sharing the story of his own grief with his mother, that many other people who haven't processed their grief will say, oh, you know what? That's what's going on with me too.
And I quickly established that if this relationship was going to work, that I was going to have to deal with my past because there was anger there.
What was fascinating to me is that both you and Harry talk about your own traumas, but for the first time I saw a different kind of emotion, and I'm wondering where that came from for you.
One of the things that has happened to me in this process of talking about other people's stories, I thought a lot about my own. And I realized